Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, Norfolk Public Schools participated in an hour of code. Rising middle and high school students learned about the district's specialty programs. And some of our creative seniors got an up-close look at ODU's art facilities. Later in the show, we'll learn about the pharmacy program at Norfolk Technical Center. Plus, Steve Suppmiller with sports. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. Around the district, students of all ages participated in a wide variety of activities during the annual Hour of Code. Here's the story.
Norfolk Public Schools recognized Computer Science Education Week by getting students in every grade level involved with the International Hour of Code. This event is designed to expose students to coding and make them aware of possible career paths related to computer science. Even our youngest students experience coding, as 3- and 4-year-olds at Berkeley Compostela Early Childhood Center got their first taste of computer science. These preschoolers utilized several programs, including one that enabled them to use coding to control the path of a ball.
Coding is critical as part of the foundation of developing cognitive ability. We believe that we have to prepare our children for college beginning in pre-K and for the job opportunities of the future. We want our boys and girls to be globally competitive, so that we believe that coding should be integrated in our curriculum throughout the day.
Coding at this age is extremely important. It prepares them to be ready for the workforce for the 21st century. Right now, they're learning all the skills they'll need to be able to compete globally. I don't care what country they go to, they'll be able to find a job in technology.
At the Academy of International Studies at Rosemont, middle school students did their coding in the form of games. Although they were having fun, these 6th graders were also using problem-solving skills and logic to get the game to respond to their commands.
We're doing block coding where we drag out blocks and we try to fix the game to actually get to our goal. And right now we're trying to get the squirrel from Ice Age to get to the nut without making him fall or go into the water.
The kids enjoy coding. It's taking what they learn in math and science class and problem solving, putting it all together, and it makes it fun. So anytime the kids have fun, they look at it as solving problems in a video game, and from the outside, it's they're writing code. They're writing the computer programs and writing the games.
Meanwhile, students in the digital marketing class at Granby High School faced a different set of challenges as they spent their hour of code building web pages for advertising purposes. Nearly everything about this lesson was very different from a standard marketing class.
That's a little challenging because it's more hands-on. It's not traditional lecture or anything like that. They go in and do. One of the things that it teaches them is problem solving. When the code doesn't work, they have to go in. English calls it proofreading. We call it debugging. So it could be one letter off, one comma off, one semicolon off. If that is not right, they have to identify it and fix it.
Sometimes it gets complicated. You get a little aggravated because it doesn't really do everything that you want it to do. So you have to go back and make sure you copied everything right, or put the right command words and different punctuations and stuff.
I never thought it would be something I would do because I'm not a very technical person. I'm more just textbook and paper and pencil, but it's definitely made me realize that there are other opportunities out there for me, and it's never too late to start.
This year's specialty program showcase was split over 2 nights, with high schools presenting their programs on one night and middle schools a week later. The events, which were held at Norby High School, attracted a total of nearly 800 people, and both evenings began with formal presentations of each program in the auditorium. Following the presentations, students and their parents were able to get more information and speak with individuals directly involved with the programs so they could make informed choices about their futures.
I'm trying to figure out which main programs I like the most and which will go with my career choice. I like the Blair Medical Program because I wanted to be a neurosurgeon when I grow up. I think it's a good opportunity for me to look around and other people as well.
Advanced Arts students from Norfolk Public Schools visited Old Dominion University for an exclusive tour of their art facilities. Thanks to this unique partnership, these high school students were able to see numerous classrooms, labs, and studios within the new Berry Arts building. They also got the opportunity to talk directly with professors and students from different concentration areas and ultimately visualize what life could look like for them after graduation.
Oh, I think that they're super interested. I mean, how could they not be? They're seeing equipment for the very first time that they've never seen before, and especially, for instance, the painting studio upstairs. Like, we're actually witnessing students painting using easels and using palettes to mix their paint on, and that's just not something that we use in all of the high school classrooms. And so they're really getting to see what it looks like to independently work at a higher education level.
It's a big opportunity because it's more in depth. It's like you actually see the department that you want to start or the major you want to start and how it will look like, instead of just looking on the screen and just like, oh, it's nice. And you just can look around, see actual people and actual classes and everything and how everything works, and so it's very in depth.
I'm really thankful, this is so much different from just your usual college tour where you're in a group of 30 kids. It's a lot more personal. We had the opportunity to speak with professors and to go and see things up close. This isn't, some sort of website advertisement video. This is real and personal.
At the conclusion of Virginia College Application Week, Norview High School held their second annual College Application Week Jubilee. During this event, Greek organizations from Old Dominion University, cheerleaders from Norfolk State University, and Norview's very own drumline performed for students, many whom had already been accepted to colleges and awarded scholarships.
I think it's very important because it encourages students to, make sure that students they see stuff like this and they want to get involved and it's fun. So it's like, oh, what's that going on? And it encourages them to do stuff like fill out applications and stuff like that.
After reading The Lemonade War, fourth grade students at the Academy for Discovery at Lakewood decided to have their own lemonade war for charity. For this project-based learning activity, students were split into teams, with each having the goal to make the most money as they sold lemonade and snacks during lunch. The idea for the fundraiser came from the students themselves, and their enthusiasm for this assignment was obvious.
So our students wanted to do a lemonade stand and they wanted to donate the money. So we chose 3 charities. We've got the food bank, we've got the SPCA, and we have Alex's Lemonade. The students did research. They wrote letters to the companies or to the charities and explained why they wanted to donate to their charity. They had a week to come up with marketing strategies and what they wanted to sell. So they did that. They signed up for time slots and now they're selling and raising lots of money and going to donate it to their charities.
It's really awesome. I love it. Like, my friends get to join together and we get to sell food, like ring pops and other stuff. You're helping somebody and they're gonna acknowledge it because helping animals, helping people get better at cancer and stuff, it's better because you get to help them.
Students at Terrellton Elementary crowded the hallways, waving their flags and singing as they honored local members of the military, both past and present, during their annual Veterans Day Parade. Following the parade, the veterans were treated to a delicious breakfast at the Terrellton Recreation Center, which was served to them by students and staff.
Well, this kind of day is perfect for our students because our vision here at Terrellton is to encourage students to develop a love of learning and solve problems and overcome challenges while learning to contribute to the community. So this is a perfect example of putting their hands on those service pieces of being a contributor to the community. It helps them as they learn how to decide for themselves. A lot of our military connected students look at military careers in the future so they can see how they're going to solve the problems of finding a job and a career in the 21st century. So it's a wonderful opportunity for them to see and connect with their parents and their families who are service members, but also see other members of the community who serve the community back themselves as a great experience.
If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, we have a special guest, Larry Rabamba from the Virginia Pilot, 757teamz.com.
Exactly.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Larry, we have you down here to talk a little bit about high school sports and the sport that we're in now, and our winter sports that we want to focus on is basketball. We're going to start with boys basketball. Eastern District has a great history on producing strong teams, and that 8 teams, we have 5 Norfolk teams, and that's what we want to focus on, are the teams in our city. So, Larry, let's get right into talking about some basketball. So, how do you think the district's going with the new alignment and going back to the district schedule? How's that going to look?
I like it. As you said, we've changed it like 3 times in the last 4 years, but I think I like the format of going back to the Eastern District schools. You get some of the rivalries back. I know they kind of lost it a little bit, but you always got the Booker T, Morey, you got the Granby, Morey. So going back to that, I think the coaches are excited as well. It gives them kind of a sense of who is the best team, whereas in the past, you're kind of like, well, they're the best team, but they don't play each other because they're in a different conference and all that. So I'm glad they went back to the district format, because now we get to have those rivalries again, and you feel more of the city atmosphere. Everybody knows each other, so I'm looking forward to it. Really
I mean, we've just gotten underway, and
right.
It's a good. We've seen some nice crowds just for some early games, so we're excited about that. So, before we get into the teams, what are your thoughts on? We have this district play, but now they go right into there's no district tournament, there's no conference tournament, there's regional, and it's a challenge for some of these teams.
Huge challenge, because a coach tries to get ready for the district, because that's what people around here want to see. But then they go to the region, they don't know any of these teams, they have no idea. They got to do a lot of coaching and scouting, because they have no idea who they're playing in the next round. And I always say it before, I like the old way. I know things got to change, but the old way was good, and we've seen 3 different changes since then, so it seems like they like the old way as well. But right now, the VHSL has it a certain way, and we got to go by what the rules are. But it definitely takes away from it, because coaches, when they leave this area, getting ready for region before used to be the Eastern region. You knew who the teams were. Now you have no idea what the region consists of. And sometimes the region consists of a team that's all the way up in Richmond, and here we are way down here. So it's kind of messed up, really.
Okay, well, hopefully, I mean, a lot of it's back into this area, and that will be a good thing. So let's see if we can get our teams into this region. So let's start off with Norview High School. Coach Ricks is in his 2nd year. He has a young team, but some young talent. So talk a little bit about Norview.
With Norview, I know Norview's got a good squad. I mean, every year they always seem to have the talent. The thing I like about them is they got a lot of youth, but combined with a lot of seniors, and I think that's going to help them. As long as they can keep that going, they should do well this year.
Okay. All right. So. How about Booker T?
Booker T,
Darren Sanderlin.
Yeah, the one thing with him, he loses a lot of players because of the transfers who leave out, and he lost another one last year. So right now, he's trying to rebuild. He's a guy who's been around for years, has been doing it for years. He knows how to coach. The key now is getting the players to believe in him. He's got a system like no other, and if you can't believe in the system, you find yourself on the bench. But he's been doing it for years. So right now, we'll have to see. He's got to bring new players in, develop them underneath his system. We'll see what happens with that.
Okay. All right. So another school that's lost some players is Granby High School. So Coach Evans is kind of starting over again. Right. He's lost a lot of talent from graduation, some from transfers.
Right.
So how about the comments?
He seems excited. I know I got his preview for him, and I talked to him as well. He's got a lot of young guys who are trying to learn the system. He's still got a lot of seniors that have stayed, which will help, so they know his system. the key is trying to combine the two. As you said, he lost one of his top 3 scorers, 2 to graduation, 1 to a transfer, and that hits a program hard. You expect the graduating ones, but the ones who transfer, it kind of throws you out. But with him, I mean, he's done well the last 3 or 4 years, even when moving up to the new conference. He's going to do well. We know his background as a player. He's going to be fine.
Okay, so we've gotten 3 teams out of the way now. An interesting team, Maury High School. Major change there at the coaching first.
I can't believe it. I still, when I talk about legendary coach Jack Baker, over 700 victories. He's been a mainstay. When you go to Maury, you look to see him on the sideline, yelling, screaming, sitting, chill. I mean, he's just the man. He's the one a legend that nobody can replace him. But Brandon Plummer, former Booker T. Washington star, was underneath him last year as an assistant. Young guy, he seems like he's got a lot of character. Doesn't seem like a first-year coach. He really doesn't. And I remember talking to Jack when he came in, and he said he felt that this kid could really do the job. And so far, he's done that. And it doesn't help too that the cupboard's not bare.
The cupboard's definitely not bare.
Definitely not bare. And I think the key is he's got a point guard in Chase, whose brother Matt Coleman we know plays at Texas, and I think Chase is going to develop more. A lot of those guys were kind of thrown into the role last year to see what they could do. They got a year underneath him now, and I think Chase, if he can continue to lead the team and get the scoring he's getting from Brian Phillips. I mean, they got a lot of guys who can score, and we saw that last year. And if they can continue that, they're going to do really well. I mean, we saw firsthand they beat Norfolk in the season opener. It just showed you right there, like, wow, okay, this team is coming together. And as the season goes on, they're going to gel, and they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch how they do kind of gel as a team under Brandon's leadership, because he is a passionate coach.
Yes, he is.
And that's one thing that Jack had, and that he's going to be able to carry on there.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to watch them.
Yeah, I like them though. I like the balance they have of size as well as scoring. And you can't just look at one player to try to stop. They got like 3 or 4 guys who can score. Scoring in a bunch as well. So I think that's really going to help them. And I think also with Brandon's youth, I think that's going to help as well. And his passion, I think it's really going to help them this year.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our last team. It's your number 1 team that you ranked, and that's the Lake Taylor Titans. A lot of returning power. Coach Brown, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, it's do or die.
It is.
We got to get it done.
Yeah, as I said in my thing, it's state title or bust. I mean, I know that they can't forget last year's game against Smithfield, that last-second shot from beyond half court to see the season end. I mean, they thought they had went to the state finals the year before that, and they thought that this was going to be their year, or last year was going to be their year, and they didn't get there. So I know that had to really hurt those guys. And this year, it's like, hey, we're seniors now. This is it. This is all we have. And I think they're ready. And I think all those players learn from that experience to realize you can't take anything for granted. Now this year, they got to go out there and show what they can do. I mean, it starts, you got Joe Bryant, Darion Sebron. I mean, those are guys who are all Tidewater players last year. And now they've done what they've done already, but now they got to prove that they can actually win. I think still a lot of doubters out there to see how good they really are. But that team is, I mean, they got it. Size, speed, defense, much like how Kenny played when he was a player as well. And I think if everything comes together, they have the experience. Everything comes together, they have that like we cannot lose attitude. I think they're going to be fine this year. I think they got a chance. But I'm positive they're going to go back to state this year. I'm pretty sure they'll go back.
So it sounds like, I mean, you've ranked Lake Taylor number 1, but that's probably the strongest team in the city. In your opinion.
Think. Oh yeah, without a doubt, definitely the strongest team in the city. And like I said, in my rankings, top team in Southampton Rose. And the key is the one thing I almost wish is that I hope they get a loss or 2 along the way. You don't want to get to this state tournament and then you have not lost, because sometimes you need to know what it feels like to lose. And sometimes teams that get to the tournament and haven't lost, then they find themselves behind. And sometimes they don't know how to react. But this team knows how to react. They know what it feels like. I mean, I can't imagine how many times they've replayed that shot that was thrown from beyond half court. And that sticks with you as an athlete. You're just like, man, I can't believe you lost like that. And I think that this year they're going to go out, be out to prove, no, we're going to make sure we don't leave anything out there. Don't even let it come down to a shot like that. Let's take care of business.
Well, Larry, again, a lot of good information on our teams. We're excited about the basketball season. Obviously, we're excited about all the sports that we do in Norfolk, but it's basketball season.
That's the big one.
And the city really enjoys their team. So I want to thank you for being down here.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
we have Larry Rabamba from the Virginia Pilot, 757teamz.com. And we have you back here to talk a little bit about girls basketball. We've already talked about boys, so we want to highlight the successful girl programs that we have in the city. So again, we're back in the Eastern District. So Larry, let's get right into this. Let's talk about the girls, the 5 teams that we have in Norfolk, and let's start off with Norview. Okay. Jonathan Wilson, head coach, 2nd year.
Yeah, he's a guy who's very interesting. I mean, you know, he coached the guys, had them to back-to-back state finals before he took over the girls' position. He said the girls' position was kind of a challenge for him. So he said, let me go ahead and take it. And then last year, I mean, Norview had no success for years, and last year was ranked for the first time, and I want to say more than 15 to 20 years in the top 10. And he turned that program around. He's got the girls believing, all of them. I mean, he's got all of them believing. The ones even who thought they couldn't do it, he got them believing. And right now, I mean, you know, he's got nothing but he's a winner. So he's going to make sure that that program continues. I think they're going to do great.
Yeah, one thing with Jonathan, I mean, his one trademark he had with those boys, when you saw Norview High School, how well they dressed, the women are doing the same thing. And I mean, they walk into a gym, you know they're Norview High School is in the gym, and that's a lot of respect for both Jonathan and his program on how he portrays his program.
He does, and the players play like that. You'll hardly ever see a player act out of character because he makes sure of what he builds. You're not representing yourself. This is about Norview High School, and he's done that with the boys. And I spent some time with the girls last year, and they had a great season. They almost went to the region tournament, but there was a team that before, when you looked at them, you circled them as, oh yeah, that's the game we're going to win, and it's changed completely now with Jonathan at the helm.
Okay, Larry, one player that he's counting on is a transfer that was injured last year that had to sit 365, and that was Asia Deal. So talk a little bit about Asia and the success that she can bring this team.
I think she sat and watched what he did as a coach while she was out, and I think that she's going to learn from that and be able to bring that to the team. I think with her leadership, the team can go really far, and so she knows what Jonathan expects out of his players, especially the star players, and she'll come in there and take that position. So I think they'll do well. She, like I said, she's learned, she saw, now she can go ahead and put it to use, especially after missing last year as well.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to Booker T. They're our Class 3 team. How about the Bookers?
And they got a player named India Upshur. For those at Booker T, the Upshurs, there have been a lot of Upshurs who've come through there in basketball, baseball, football. And here's another one now. Last year she averaged a double-double. I believe it was like 13 points, 11 rebounds. So anytime you have a player like that in the middle who can do those things and score on both inside, outside, that helps you tremendously, especially in a tough and could be a physical Eastern District.
Okay. All right. So next is Granby High School. They have a coaching change. They brought in Brittany Harmon. She's a former player at Princess Anne, so she's been around a great program. Went on to play Division I at Gardner-Webb, so she has some good experience. Should be able to bring some experience to a young team in her first year.
Without a doubt. And whenever you have a player come back and coach, first of all, they got that enthusiasm, that passion for the game that sometimes is lost in some of the older coaches. But now she comes in, has her system, being able to do it her way. I think they're going to do well.
Okay. All right. So Maury High School. Yes. Tommy Haynes is in his 2nd year. Their talent's down a little bit. They've lost some girls through transfer from the transfer process or graduating. So how about the Commodores?
The thing they always say, they always hear the only way is up, And I think with him, he's been trying to bring some enthusiasm to that program. And I think he'll do it. The key is being patient. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little while. And hopefully by mid-season, he'll have them playing the way he wants them playing. By season's end, you never know what can happen. But right now, I think he's very optimistic about the season. So we'll see what happens with the Commodores.
Okay. Well, just like the boys, the Lake Taylor Titan ladies are right back in the thick of things. Coach Sawyer has a good young group, had great experience last year getting into that state tournament, and they should be able to build and move on a little bit higher this year, the expectations. So talk about the Titans.
Sandra Sawyer, like her husband, Hank Sawyer, who's a competitive coach who wants to win and does it the right way in terms of building these kids up. She's the same way. I think she's got more state titles than him too. She always makes sure she says that. But here's a coach who's been there, done that. She's been through it before. And last year, we expected to see him. They didn't go as far as we thought. But now she's ready. She has a team loaded. She's got a lot of players coming back as well as some other players coming in. And I think right now, I mean, the sky's the limit for them to what they can do. The one player I always want to talk about is Janiyah Quinterly. She's a girl I've been hearing about probably for the last 5 years. She's now a freshman. She's one of the top players in the country, point guards. She's come in, had a huge game. Her first game, she scored like 20 points, had 8 steals. So here's a young lady who's going to be there as a freshman. By the end of her 4 years, no telling what they're going to be. But right now, she just is trying to fit in, not to do too much. I think she's going to be able to lead them far. And they got a lot of other girls, a lot of other weapons too that can lead that team as well.
Well, obviously we're expecting big things from the Titans.
Right.
They're expecting big things. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Now, we know the area is made up of 3, 4, 5, and 6. So your number 1 team, Francis Ann,
right.
But the number 2 team is Lake Taylor. So the potential is there to win that 4A state tournament.
Without a doubt, and I know Coach Sawyer believes in that as well. She wants to lead. I mean, the thing about her, she doesn't change. She's the same coach all the time. If she gets a little bit of talent, even the ones who don't have a whole lot of talent, she develops them by season's end. They're always on a roll. I mean, I can't think of a time where they have no one of the teams to look for. And once again, they're going to be right up there again this year.
Okay. So we know about the Titans. I mean, just through some of your research, I mean, do you think any other team could advance into the regional play, state play, potentially?
I mean, there's some other teams, but the thing about Lake Taylor, and we talk about the Princess Anne as well, but Lake Taylor has been there. They've done it. And you can never count them out. Even last year when they weren't as great as we thought they would be, they're always going to be there because of the solid coaching. And Sandra Sawyer expects a lot from those players, and almost all the time they deliver. So I think the same thing's going to happen again. I think they're definitely a team to watch this year.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully Norview and Jonathan
he can bring it on.
Can get into that 5A region and get into that state mix. So, Larry, again, good information. We're excited about the girls' season, and we look forward to seeing you out around reporting.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With me today are 2 special guests. We have Crystal Stokes. She is a pharmacy technician teacher at the Norfolk Technical Center's pharmacy program. And then we have Savannah Sloan, who is a senior at Maury High School in the pharmacy program. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you with us today, and I want to talk about this program, which I jokingly thought you'd already been on the show to talk about it, but we want to let our audience know about our pharmacy program at NTC. How long has it been there, and how did it get started?
Okay, the Norfolk Technical Center pharmacy program started in 2003-2004 school year. It was actually a state initiative to bring awareness to Virginia high school students about the profession of pharmacy. The students did so well that the Norfolk Public Schools decided to start an evening program in 2006, and it's been history ever since. Just a small fact that a lot of people don't know is that Norfolk Technical Center, or NPS, we had the first pharmacy technician program in all of Hampton Roads in all 7 cities. So no other school system had this pharmacy technician program, and the students of NPS have just grown, made it grow, been successful, and we're still doing well today.
And that is great. So tell me, how many students are enrolled in this program, and then what does the curriculum look like?
Okay, right now we have approximately 30 students in the program this particular school year. The curriculum consists of pharmacology, pharmacy practice. I teach the students pharmacy calculations, but is aligned with the national exam called PTCB or the EXTPT. These are national exams for students. Once they pass, the students go on into work into pharmacy, and any pharmacy, whether it's hospital or community pharmacy. The students also have a co-curricular club that's called Health Occupation Students of America. And the purpose of that is for our students, for my students in the pharmacy program, to learn leadership skills, to make sure that they are with one in the community. I implement a lot of community service in my program. I need the students to have that extra touch in their classroom or in the program. It's more than just pharmacy. My students need to know that there are other people they need to care about in Norfolk and the communities they may go to in the future, and that's very big for me.
So you're building future leaders.
Future leaders, and so on and so forth.
And Savannah, what attracted you to this program? Why did you get started in it?
Well, I have always been interested in the medical field and medicine, and so when I found a program that was a one-year program since I was a rising senior that could give me a certification in something I wanted to do in my future, it was an opportunity that I just had to take at the time. And I had no idea about the program until my counselor let me know. And so when she did, it really became a great opportunity for me.
To have this program go on for so long, what type of partnerships do you have?
Oh, I have so many partnerships. The people in the community have just been really good to me. My strongest partnership is with Hampton University School of Pharmacy. A lot of people don't know in order to be a pharmacist, you have to go to only 3 schools here in the state of Virginia. Either you go to Hampton University, VCU, or Shenandoah. Hampton University has played a huge part with my students. I also have a partnership with Walgreens. They've been with me for 15 years.
Wow.
So the students go out on internship with them. I've also have a lot of other partnerships with American Heart Association, American Cancer Society. I built a relationship with EVMS Resource Center, AIDS Resource Center, Susan G. Coleman, Union Mission.
Wow.
So the list keeps going on. That is a big part of what I like to do for my students. I like to bring the parents into the classroom. I don't want the students to feel as though I don't care about their families. So therefore, I also have a partnership with a lot of the doctoral students at Hampton University and their committees. So SNAFA, the Hampton University SNAFA committee, comes over to Norfolk Technical Center on a monthly basis. So I have a partnership with their individual committees. I have a mentor group that I play a liaison with, gentlemen in white coats.
Yes.
Women with doctoral degrees is another group. There is another committee called Case Cancer, and also Bridging the Gap.
And so, Savannah, knowing these partnerships and experiencing this, what has Hampton University's partnership, how has that impacted you as a student and your interest in this program?
Being able to meet, firsthand students that went to NTC and students who even went to Maury or, the schools around that went to Hampton and became our pharmacists and our pharmacy techs. They've been able to open up the curriculum for me and kind of explain what I need to do to make myself a pharmacist, and that's extremely helpful to me in choosing what classes I do and how I, work. And so it's been an amazing opportunity to meet people who can really mentor you through your career.
Crystal, have you received any awards or recognitions for this program?
Yes, I have. The Virginia Pilot put us on the front page last year with the gentlemen in white coats. The Norfolk Public School Board has recognized the program with all the different partnerships, and the Department of Education. I won the Individual Teacher Award because of the partnership I have with Hampton University some years back. HOSA, we have many different recognitions with HOSA. My students give many awards when I take my students to state leadership. So the pharmacy students do very well. NPS students have just been thriving with this program.
And what do you enjoy the most, Savannah, about this program?
Well, not only learning something I'm interested in and something I want to do, but also, making new friends from different schools I didn't have before, meeting people like the students from Hampton, having new experiences and being open to a lot of new opportunities. It's really something that is changed my life and my career path in the best possible way.
You hear what she's saying. So what do you want the other students to experience or get out of this program?
I want the students first, of course, know that pharmacy is important. I've taught them everything I could possibly teach them as a teacher in pharmacy. But when my students leave me, I want them to think outside the box. I want them to know that no idea or any idea that they have is not too small. I want them to be passionate about anything that they choose to do. If they're going to be a pharmacist, be passionate about it. I want them to be dedicated to it. And most importantly, I want them to know that together we can always make a difference.
Exactly. And so you're making a difference, because Savannah, I'm curious with you. So what are you going to do as far as future plans after experiencing this pharmacy program?
Well, hopefully, as long as I pass boards, I will become a pharmacy tech and hopefully be able to work at Walgreens or CVS while I go to college. And right now I'm looking to get my bachelor's in chemistry and then go on to pharmacy school after that. And so I'm hoping to take everything I learned and help me in the process of becoming a pharmacist and making my dreams a reality.
Yeah, and I hope parents and students are going to watch this show and get inspired and want to inquire and become a part of this program too. So thank you both for coming on the show to talk about our pharmacy technician program.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.